Have you ever had 6 strangers take turns groping your bare boobs while you just lie there in your socks and underwear, trying not to cry? Yeah, that was me at 21. I'm Sophia. Most people just call me Soph. And back then, I was a broke junior in college, living off instant ramen and whatever was left in my checking account after rent. One night in the shower, I felt this weird, hard lump in my right breast. It didn't hurt, but it felt wrong, like a frozen pea under the skin. I did what every responsible adult does. I Googled it at 2 a.m., panicked, then ignored it for 2 months because the student health center copay was $35 I didn't have. Winter break finally rolled around and I was home in Ohio. My mom basically dragged me to her family doctor because it could be cancer, Sophia. Stop being dramatic. The doctor was this nice older lady I'd never met before. She introduced herself as Dr. Patel. She had me take off my top and bra, did the usual press around thing, and her face changed. She said, that's a solid mass, and it's unusual for someone your age. I'd like a second opinion before we send you for imaging. Totally fine. Second opinions are good, right? Then she opens the door and says, Dr. Harris is right down the hall. Let me grab him. Next thing I know, the door swings open, and in walks this middle-aged guy in a white coat, followed by a parade. He goes, Hi, Sophia. I'm Dr. Harris. This is my chief resident, Ryan, and these are 4 medical students doing their surgery rotation, Logan, Riley, Jordan, and Casey. I'm lying there on the exam table, completely topless except for my stupid striped ankle socks and a paper sheet that's barely covering my lap, and suddenly there's 7 people in this tiny room that smells like alcohol wipes and despair. Dr. Harris gives me this sympathetic smile like, hope you don't mind, teaching moment, and then proceeds to narrate like it's a freaking TED Talk. So everyone, feel the consistency here. Notice how it's firm and mobile. One by one, they step up, put on gloves, thank God for small mercies, and take their turn palpating both breasts for comparison. Every single one of them does the thoughtful, yes, interesting thing while I stare at the ceiling tiles counting the little black specks so I don't lose it. Riley, the resident, actually asked me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how embarrassed are you right now? I wanted to die. I muttered 11, and he laughed like that was the funniest thing he'd heard all week. The med students were trying so hard to be professional, but you could tell they were dying inside too. Jordan kept apologizing under their breath every time they touched me, and Casey's face was redder than mine. Logan just kept saying, thank you for letting us examine you, like I had a choice. It probably lasted 5 minutes total, but it felt like an hour. When they finally all filed out, Dr. Patel came back alone, handed me my bra like it was no big deal, and said, we're sending you for an ultrasound and mammogram tomorrow, just to be safe. It's probably a fibroadenoma, very common in young women. I nodded like a robot, got dressed, and walked out to the waiting room where my mom was reading a magazine. She looked up and asked how it went. I burst into tears in the middle of the waiting room, couldn't even talk. Got the ultrasound the next day. Turns out it really was just a fibroadenoma, totally benign. They removed it a month later. No big deal. Scar's tiny, barely noticeable. But here's the twist that still messes with me. Years later, I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see wedding photos. One of the med students, Jordan, was marrying my high school best friend's older brother. I almost choked on my coffee, which means at some point Jordan probably told the story of that one patient we all examined, and someone at the rehearsal dinner went, wait, Sophia from Centerville? No way. So yeah, somewhere out there, 6 doctors still remember the time they all copped the feel of my college boobs